Hey, Crossroads! I'm excited to be joining you tonight for a couple of minutes to share my perspective on healing and what that means. And I'm speaking from the perspective of a guy who's in a wheelchair. And to those of you who don't know me, I'm Ricky, and I have a nonprofit ministry that's called Ricky Speaks Life, where I go around sharing my story and the works of God and all the good things that He's done, as well as raising money for those who are less fortunate and can't afford a manual wheelchair. So tonight, I'm going to talk to you about healing and how I perceive that or understand that to be from a biblical perspective. Now, to those of you who may have grown up in the church, we have these ideas as to healing and what that means and what it is, and I grew up with different beliefs that I needed to be healed and more of a supernatural action that I needed to have God change my body and make it to where I could walk. And I'll tell you, that was hard when I accepted Christ. It was hard for me because, one, I had already been struggling with my self-image and like what I either had the ability or inability to do, which was walk. And so many other things came along with that. And so I was very just confused and not sure why God wouldn't heal me. Of course, I came to faith. Why isn't He healing me? Come on. And I struggled with that. I struggled, past tense, with that for quite some time. And it really wasn't until I grew in my faith, which took some years. It wasn't an overnight thing. It was really finding myself in the Lord and understanding who the Lord is. And in order to do that, you have to dive into His Word. And that's where I bring to you tonight this perspective. So I was having lunch with Pastor Eric. We were catching up. We're friends for, years back. And so it was good to catch up with him. And during our conversation, I had asked him, do you think that I need healing? And he paused. I gave him some time to think because I was, about to leave and we were closing out our lunch time. And so, he gave different aspects in terms of where we all kind of need healing, and that would be spiritual healing and emotional healing and even mental healing. Sometimes even physical healing. But when I think about the need for healing, it is to restore something that is broken. When I was born, the Lord created me to be the way that I am. If you read Psalm 139:13, and I think 14, but it says that He knitted me together in my mom's womb. If you're gonna go with new or the old King James version, it reads differently than the way I just said it. But He knew that I was gonna be born this way, and then when I proof text that with John chapter 9, verse 3, which I love dearly, this is where my confidence in being disabled comes from. where the man who was born blind, Jesus opens his eyes. And as you read through that chapter and get near the end of it, you actually start to see that the healing was really about the man's spiritual well-being. Now, in most Bibles, it says Jesus heals the man born blind, and it seems to have this focus on him being able to see, and that's why he was healed. But no, actually, he was fine. He was living life just blind, I mean, he had struggles just as I do, right? But the more important thing was he was able to come to faith and lean into the Lord, believe in the Lord. And so when I parallel that with my story and my life, I actually am the way that I'm supposed to be. I'm glorifying the Lord by talking and sharing my story. And whenever I break a bone, like the Lord gives me this ability to be resilient, and I don't know, he gives me this peace. I can't explain it. Not that breaking a bone is easy, but he gives me the ability to tolerate. And so with that said, that's when I would say that I need healing, because the bones are broken. And so to restore the bones being broken, that's where I need healing. But in terms of the way I am right now, sitting here talking to you, I'm fine. I'm just me, and I don't need to be different. I tend to think of the movie Forrest Gump, where Forrest Gump's mom is always saying, hey, we're all the same. He would have given us all braces on our legs, right? But see, we all have these differences. And so we don't need to, there's no one size fits all. And I am this way for God's glory. And I don't need to be healed or changed, should I say, because that's the way I'm supposed to be. Now, in the event, and I'll close with this, in the event the Lord wants me to walk, then that will be what he wills, and that will be where he gets even a different type of glory, because right now I'm glorifying him in the way that I currently am. And so I hope that gives you a little bit of food for thought. Maybe y'all can talk about this tonight a little further. I'm going to open this up. You can reach out to me via email at info@rickyspeakslife.org. Or you can go to my Facebook page, send me a message there, and ask for any questions, ask for clarity, and ask any questions that you can think of. So I hope y'all have a blessed time, and I will catch you on the flip side.